Good. Okay. I am so very excited about tonight. Um, let's see. Probably, I don't know, maybe a month ago, I asked, well, maybe less than that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a month ago, I had asked on some of our diamonds, who are some speakers y'all want to hear from? We've been, oh, someone said I can barely hear. Can y'all hear me? Marsha, I can see you. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So maybe try turning up. I don't know. I'm so not good with this stuff. Okay, we've been doing these for a while, and I had asked some of the diamonds, who do y'all want to hear from? I know we've had a lot of speakers, and it was really fun to, have some of the suggestions, and definitely quite a few of the diamonds had mentioned hearing from Lachelle, and so I was so excited because I'm like, I don't even know her story. I just actually met Lachelle. Let's see. Can you hear me, Lachelle? You can mute and unmute.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
Okay, I was trying to think. So I think we probably met at this last green carpet.
So we borderline kind of said hi and that awkward I see you, I kind of see you too a little bit at the cruise. But then at green carpet is when we officially we're like, hey, where you actually knew my name, and I was like, yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, I remember. Who was it? I think it was one of the girls. I remember was telling me, oh, this girl has the cutest photos. I remember, and it was your Facebook. I was like, oh, really? Awesome. And I didn't even really know how to do the follow feature, but I followed you. And so my thing for a while, Facebook would show, and it said I was following one person, Lachelle. Oh, that's cool. You can follow because I always. But anyways, yay. Okay, so I'm so excited because I have not even heard your full story. So thank you for taking the time out to share with us. I know you're busy and you have your team and your life and everything, but we're excited.
No, I'm totally pumped. I'm so honored that you asked me. You guys should have seen my face and my pit sweat when I got a message from Sherry Lynn. I was like, what? What happened? What did I do?
I'm excited, girl. So, okay, start off and share with us your story of how you found it works, kind of how you got going, maybe what you did to hit to diamond and then to prez, and then I'll ask you some questions.
Okay, so I have the questions that you sent me, so I'll kind of just start with my story. But so I joined. So this is how my story came out. Here's the thing, guys. I didn't even know what network marketing. Hold on, I have to not be able to see all of you because I have the worst ADD ever. Okay, so I had no idea what network marketing was and the only I didn't even know the term network marketing. I knew Mary Kay and Avon, and so I was literally the hater. I was that girl. And so what happened is that my best friend in the whole wide world, my person, which is actually no longer in this business, I've always been kind of her bodyguard, her protector. And she joined this business, and I'm watching her Facebook page, and I was like, okay, what are you doing? Because you're posting bellies and stuff, and are you selling something? Because you could not sell water to somebody on fire. And so my whole introduction to It Works was literally trying to protect my friend, because I was like, what are you doing? You can't do this. I was like, listen, we've known each other for a long time. I understand you. And so literally I found It Works, and I started learning about It Works because I was trying to protect my best friend and make sure that she didn't get into anything bad. And so I literally, when she was posting stuff, I'm like, what are you posting about? And she was like, It Works. I joined as a distributor. We're famously known for that crazy rap thing. You would love this. You work out and stuff. You should totally buy from me. I'm like, did you just tell me about a skinny wrap? What is this? And so I literally went straight to Google, and I was like, It Works Global, Ultimate Body Applicator, skinny wrap. I went to the It Works website. I read everything. I'm I'm half green and I'm half red. I am straight Christmas. And I started reading everything. I'm like, what does It Work? So I found Mark Pentecost, stalked his Facebook page, found Cindy, stalked her Facebook page. Then I was like, okay, what is this diamond stuff? You guys get diamond rings or something as you promote. I'm like, okay, It Works diamond in Google. saw the chart and I'm like, what is this like is this like Monopoly game? Like, what is this? And I literally, I'm not even kidding you. I'm so protective over her to this day, and she's not in this business anymore, but I'm so protective over her that I have to like analyze everything that she does, because I've always just been like that with her. So like I was like learning about it works for 72 hours. Like, I'm not kidding. I thought I was like trying to save my best friend's life. And in that 72 hours, now when I look back on it, like now I see why I joined, but like at the moment I was literally trying to save her life. Like I was trying to be like, find a reason for her to be like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Like you're in a bad thing. Like I was trying to save her life. And so she had originally been like, you would love this. Like you guys work out. Like this will like totally make your abs stick out more. And I'm just like, I go to the gym. Like, what are you talking about right now? Like, you sound crazy. And after doing some research, and I went to YouTube and I started researching It Works Even More, I literally joined through her website as a distributor. I don't even, like, I feel like it was like that moment where I was just like, there was just a moment where I was just like, I'm going to do this, but I had no idea what I was doing. And I joined, and she texted me the next morning. She's like, oh my God, you ordered. And I'm like, yeah, I did order. She did not even realize that I joined as a distributor. She thought that I ordered as a loyal customer. And then the next day she texted me again. She's like, so like, are you sure that you didn't join? Because I keep looking at my email and it says that you joined as a distributor. So I think that you probably did this wrong. Like, I can help you. Like, well, I can't really help you, but I can try to figure out how I can help you. And I'm like, no, I actually joined as a distributor. And I went straight into like research. Like, I'm like, okay, like I want like all I found in those 72 hours, I actually found Tiffany Herr. I found Alyssa Billieu. I found Ashley Sinclair. I found Stephanie Dunn. And I think I found like Doree Kneller and Carrie Young. And I just found these women that were like around my age, like a median of my age, and they're making like, you know, $10, $20, $30,000 a month. And I was like, okay, sign me up for that. And I had no idea. Like, I just thought it was a skinny wrap. Like, I'm like, you guys just make this much money from a skinny wrap? Like, cool. Like, all right. And then when I went through the website and I saw these other products, I'm like, okay, so there's like a ton of other products too. I was never sent a welcome email. And to this day, you know, a lot of people know my story is that I didn't have an upline. And I say that because, yes, I enrolled through my best friend, but I was never, ever given any direction. And I really, truly had to figure out for myself. And so the day that I joined, I just had a feeling. To this day, I have no reason for joining. Like, to this day, I truly believe that, like, God kind of, like, took the whole wheel and was just like, you're going to do this. Like, you need this for your future. Like, I got a plan for you. And I joined, and I just started looking. And I actually found Tiffany Herr on YouTube because I typed in 24-year-old It Works distributor because I was 24 years old at the time. And I had no idea that Tiffany Herr was part of my upline. I had no idea that Tiffany Herr was a part of my upline until I was Diamond. And I literally listened to her every single day. Like, she was echoing in our house until like 2 o'clock in the morning every single day because I watched every single one of her videos twice. And so, I was literally the definition of ignorance on fire. I had no idea what I was doing. And I found the product coach by doing that training that like you're supposed to do as a new distributor. I did that like 10 times. And I just kept doing the training. I kept doing notes. Like this binder was serious. Like I legitimately went and bought a green binder with like tabs and inserts, and I did that training so many times where I had that training memorized by heart. And when I found Tiffany on YouTube, like she has the same kind of spunk and energy as me, like, you know, like I just could understand her communication, and I just started duplicating. Like when I tell you that I stalked Tiffany Herr's life, like I went back all the way to the first post that she ever posted, and they're still saved in my saves on Facebook. And so I've been involved for now 2 years and 2 months. And I really joined because through the whole stalking period, I was seeing my best friend like just kind of doing some of those generic posts of like the $500 Ruby bonus and how Rubies make $500 a month. And why that was so attractive to me was because at the time, it truly was the lowest point in my life. I had recently made a transition and moved across the country away from all my family and everything else to kind of start over with who I was dating, and he was actually paying all my bills at the time. And I felt like I was like completely failing at life. Like TJ was paying all my bills and I didn't have any savings. Like I was counting pennies. at that point. Like, I literally knew exactly what was going, like, now today it's weird to think about and look back and respect it so much because, like, I understand budgeting, and I'm going to talk about, like, kind of like my OCD, but, like, there was literally, like, where I'm like, can I have Starbucks this week? Like, I was counting pennies so bad. And when I saw that she was talking about Ruby, all I saw was Ruby, like $500 extra a month. And it was because I actually defaulted on my student loan that I was not using. And I went to school for architectural engineering and interior design, and I moved to Vegas. And long story short is basically Nevada's one of 9 states where you have to, like, do all these things to practice. And I couldn't practice I couldn't go into the field that I went to school for in Nevada for at least 2 years. And so I took, like, a minimum wage job. I was a personal assistant and receptionist, and I defaulted on my student loans. And so it was ruining my credit. And I'm big on credit. Like, I studied credit. I almost went to school. I actually studied for my Series 7. Like, I understand, like, investing and all those things. When I looked at my credit, it was, like, deteriorating monthly. I'm, like, on Experian, and I was just, like, watching it, like, go downhill. I'm like, I have to pay the student loan. Like, it's screwing up my entire life. Like, if I want to buy a house or I want to do anything in the future, like, I have to pay the student loan. So when I saw Ruby, I was like, this will be able to pay for my student loan, because it was literally like a $400 and something a month payment that I wasn't paying anymore. I just stopped paying it. And I didn't want to ever want to be one of those people that stopped paying something. So I joined to literally pay that student loan. And I went Ruby, and so, and kind of like something that I love about my story is that I truly did not have an upline. Like, I did not meet Rachel Jones, she's a part of my upline, until like the week that I was going diamond, or like 2 weeks before I was going diamond. And so, like, I had to figure out charting by myself. Like, you should have seen my Google searches. Like, I was literally like, what is this diamond tree for it works? Like, I didn't even know it was called a chart. I thought it was called a tree or something, or like, and I used to play fantasy. Well, I still play fantasy, but I'm like, what is the fantasy bracket for It Works Global? Like, I was trying to understand them because I had no idea what I was doing. And it all came from, like, when you really like, just like get that feeling where you decide on something, like, you'll figure it out no matter what the terminology that you use to figure it out. So I went Ruby in 3 months. I went diamond in 5 months. And so a week or 2 before I went diamond is when I met Rachel Jones, and I'm like 8 lines down from her. She's part of my upline. And that's when I truly had somebody there that was like, would lock arms with me and like help me with things. And then I went double diamond on my 7th month, and then triple diamond on my 8th month. And then I stayed triple diamond for a year, and I went Prez exactly the day that I went triple diamond a year later. And I was chartered ambassador on the exact day that I joined. So I was chartered ambassador at my exact 2-year mark. And in those 2 years, I personally earned $180,000 in bonuses. Between me and TJ, we earned $310,000 in bonuses. And it really just came, like I honestly to God, like, he brought this into my life, and I had no idea why at the time. But since then, when I look back now, I will tell you, if you're brand new or if you're like somewhere in your journey, I'll tell you right now that sometimes opportunities are presented to you for the future. And recently in May, my mother was diagnosed with cancer, and I truly believe, that God honestly brought this into my life to be able to do what I've been able to do for my mom. I completely picked up and moved across country. I made sure that she went to the best hospital in the country, and that we're in an apartment now. Like, she was comfortable, but like, It Works has brought like positivity in my life. It Works brought God back into my life. It Works has allowed me to be here with my mom. I paid off $50,000 in credit card debt and $20,000 in student loans. 2 months ago was the first time that I saw $100,000 in my savings, which was crazy to me. But I'm like the worst spender in the whole world. Like, I don't buy anything. Like, this shirt is like 8 years old. And like, when I really look back on it now, like, I realized that like this opportunity was presented to all of you, and you might not understand why today, but I'm telling you right now, like, God probably brought you in this opportunity for something that's coming, or something, he's preparing you for something. Because honestly, I just feel like God doesn't call on the equipped, he equips the called. And I truly believe that he called on me for this opportunity.
I love that. Oh my goodness, that's so neat. I mean, it just shows, when someone has that like goal, when they have that drive, like they're gonna make it happen. Because you could have had a ton of excuses. You joined with someone that didn't really know what she was doing. You could have just been like, "Oh, I don't have help. I don't." But I mean, you didn't. You figured it out, and so I love that. I love that. You know, my goodness, because of this, it's so neat to see where at the end of the day, what matters, like your family, your relationship with the Lord, and so you have that, your relationship with God is stronger than it's been. And then that's so neat. I know so many of us have watched your story and seen you, be able to be there for your mom and help her out. And man, just to go from, what did you say? So you've been with 2 years, Lachelle?
2 years and 2 months. Well, 2 years, 2 months, yeah.
Okay, so just how your life has like been transformed in 2 years. Like,
this is some crazy stuff, guys. Like, this is like some crazy stuff. And then not only just like financially, because this business is honestly so much more than the finances. Like, I came from no friends. Like, I had like Scarlett, the one that I was like trying to save her life from joining this company, and no fun, no freedom. And I honestly did not have a relationship with the Lord when I joined. And so many things have changed. Like when I look at me compared to the girl that joined, there is a humongous difference. And just understand this opportunity is like so much more growth than you, like, it's not just financial, like it's so much growth in between.
I love that, man. Okay, so we'll rewind a little bit. So you joined, you didn't know what you were doing, you didn't meet your upline, or somebody, upline leader, until you're almost diamond, but you figured out enough to know you needed customers and distributors because you were almost diamond. So what did you do, Lachelle? Where did you find these distributors from? How did you start growing? Like, how did you get this ball rolling?
Okay, so like I said, truly, if you have been in this business for a day or a year, do the training again. Like, literally, when they came out with the new training, I did it again. Like, just to do it. Because here's the thing is that, like, I truly believe that knowledge is power. I love, and it very, very rarely happens, but I do love being the most knowledgeable person in the room. And I feel like knowledge is power. And so when they came out with the new training, I'm like, I'm ready. I'm going to do it. And so building to Ruby, my Ruby chart, I knew. So Ruby chart, I got 5 people. TJ didn't have a choice. I literally stole his social security card and enrolled him. And then the other 4 people were from like my past, because on the training, like on YouTube, I literally Tiffany Her on YouTube is like the reason that I got to diamond, because without her, and I didn't even know that she was my upline. I don't even know, like, when I say I had an upline, like when I didn't have an upline, I really didn't. But if I had to like say anybody was my upline, it was Tiffany Her. But like, she had no idea who I was. But I listened to everything she said, and she said hundreds list. It was like one of the first couple videos that I watched, and she said it was in document library. And so I went to document library, and it printed out the hundreds list and the memory jogger. And I literally wrote that hundreds list, and it took me forever because I like, what is 100 people? Like, that's a lot of people. And I was like, there got to a point when I was like in my 70s where I was like, what am I going to do? And I had to start pulling out like business cards, and I had to be like, okay, well, I met TJ's aunt once at a wedding 2 years ago. So I think she gave me her business card once. I'm gonna write down her email. Like, I was filling out this hundreds list no matter what. And I literally reached out to all of those people. And the messages that I sent back then were opportunity and products. I probably wouldn't have responded to me back then, but I got lucky with 5. And because those messages are like not that pretty at all. But I got lucky. I wouldn't say it's luck. I said that I definitely was courageous, because I literally reached out to all those 100 people. And out of those 5 people, 4 of them joined that I personally messaged. And one of them was me reaching out on Instagram, because I had watched Instagram. Like, I watched a training like, hey, you have to message people. I'm like, weird. That's weird. I don't do that. And so that's how I got to Ruby. It's like truly my warm market. And I did not have a warm market. This warm market was like a 10-year warm market, where like, who can I get out of my last 10 years? And so from Ruby to Diamond, like I said, like I was calling it like a bracket or a tree. Like, I didn't know it was charts, like whatever. And I just saw this chart, and I'm like, okay, so I have to fill this chart. And I would literally Google, okay, so how do you move someone after enrolling them to a box on the bracket? Like, the things that I was Googling were crazy, but you can find it through the links. Like if you want to figure it out, you're going to figure it out no matter what terminology that you're using to figure it out. And so when I looked at my diamond chart, I was like, okay, 24 people. All right. So I watched a training with Alyssa Bilyeu about layered leadership. And I'm very happy that this was put into my business very early, that you had to have layered leadership. So on my actual diamond chart, I had personally enrolled 14 of them, but when I watched her layered leadership training, she was like, work with your emerald. That didn't count. And I'm going to talk about that too. That didn't count because it was TJ, and TJ was like not the person to support me in the beginning. But I was like, okay, the rubies and the executives. Like I was so focused on like my top 10, like the 10 people to get me to the next rank. Like I was working with these people constantly, like what was working for me. I was making sure to share what was working for me because I worked so well with duplication, and whatever I was learning from YouTube or whatever leader I was following, I was just giving back to the people that I knew could enroll also to fill my diamond chart. And, but when I looked at the diamond chart, because I'm also very red, when I looked at the diamond chart, I was like, okay, I have to enroll 24 people and I have to fill all this volume by myself. And I think that actually is a really great mentality to have. I think overall, but definitely in the beginning, because you know, I feel like that's what got me to diamond, and after diamond, it just kind of took off. But I looked at all that volume, and when you have this, like, I got to make it happen attitude, like, it was like I was at rock bottom, so I had to make it happen, is that I went crazy in the beginning. Like, I was doing the absolute most like I was the Girl Scout in my neighborhood. Like, I'm not afraid to tell you that I went to my neighbor's house, because Girl Scouts do it. They go to all the neighbors and knock on the doors. Why can't I do it? Like, they're cute. I'm all right. I'm cute too. I mean, if anything, I should probably just follow a Girl Scout around with fat fighters. But I was literally like going to all my neighbors' house, like blitzing everyone. Like, I was a crazy person to get to diamond. And, but really I remember specifically, because I actually went back and found my diamond chart on Trading Beta. When I was going diamond, I feel like that's when I was almost like, you know, when you have like a 12-year-old and you're like 12 going on like 18, I was literally a Ruby going on ambassador. I just decided to do everything that ambassador was doing. Like, I was making like pamphlets. I was like blitzing everyone. I was doing rap parties constantly. But all I knew is that I needed that $2,000 a month. I saw this bracket and I was like, okay, I have to have a name in all these boxes. Okay. Layered leadership. Okay, these people are not just boxes. I need to give every single person that comes into my organization the exact same tools that I give every person that comes to my organization. And so it really, it came into like this system. I created a system, and I'm very systems. Like, I'm very systematic. I'm medically diagnosed with OCD, and I truly, honestly, when people ask me, I think it really helps me in this business. But systems have been so huge for me. And going to diamond, it was all about just like duplication, giving everybody underneath me what I was doing, and just like enrolling as many people as possible. So then diamond to now, I mean, you kind of sent me this question, so I don't know how you want me to talk about it. But there was a training when I was diamond, where I watched with Aaron Tweed and Rachel Jones. And it was a messaging training. And I had really gone to diamond by still kind of close to my warm market or acquaintances in my warm market, and working on layered leadership, like working with my promoting legs and helping them message. And then after diamond, I realized, I'm like, okay, and I didn't start with a lot of Facebook friends. I started like with 800 Facebook friends and like 200 Instagram followers. So I got like 1,000 people to work with. And I watched that training with Aaron Tweed and Rachel, and they were talking about messaging people you don't know. And I'm like, and I remember to the day I was sitting on my couch, and I got up off my couch and went to the top ledge of my couch, like on the back of the couch, whatever rest. Yeah. And I was like, I literally sat there I was just sitting there. I was like, I have to message people that I don't know. And I literally stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I probably messaged 100 people before there was any like limits or anything where you had to message people. And I just messaged 100 people that I didn't know about the opportunity. And I was just like, if they're telling me that's what I got to do, whatever, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And honestly, that is where I learned planting season and the harvest, because that's where I learned seeds. When I learned seeds, my entire business changed, because every person that I ever talked to was written down and they were going to join no matter what. And that was my mindset. But that was like the point where like, that's why when people were like, how did you promote to double diamond in 7 months and triple diamond in 8 months? And I was like, if you even knew how many people I messaged, because I just got over myself, I'm like, whatever, they're telling me to do it, I'm just going to do it. Like, I'm just going to draw my pride and do it. That's truly how I got there so fast, is that I just said, go for it.
And I love that. And what I notice is that, like, with you talking, Lachelle, it's like, number one, you decided you were going to do it. So you basically said that. You said, you know, you were Ruby, like, treating this business like you were an ambassador. You're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be successful. And so, you know, you decided it with your mind. And I think that's what's similar with my story. Like, I remember joining and being like, I'm getting that $10,000 diamond bonus. Like, I am. Okay, I have to get it in 3 months to get the bonus. Great, I'm going to do it. And I just made the decision. And I think no matter where you're at on this Zoom, whether you just joined, whether you're a diamond, whether you're a ruby, you have to decide what is that goal and decide and believe that you can do it. Because if you don't have that belief, the action won't follow. And then I love what you're saying is that you message. So you start with the warm market, which is what we say. You make the hundreds list. You started with the warm market. You ask them, do they want to join this business with you? And then did you also ask people about doing products?
Always, yeah. No, I mean, like, that was another Zoom. I mean, we didn't have Zoom there. We had, what was it called? Hangout, Google Hangout. I was watching the Google Hangouts. And they were just like, message every single person likes your post. I'm like, okay. And these were not people that were communicating with me, guys. Like, I was watching these videos and like, you're going to message every person likes your post. I'm like, okay, I will.
And so you were okay that you realized, okay, I sent 100 message, I signed 5 distributors. You know, like you're going to send, so if you send 5 messages, chances are you may not sign anyone. So you realized early on, you've got to do a lot. And then now of those hundreds, tons may join later. Some may join in a month. Some may join in 3 months, 6 months, whatever. But you decided, I'm going to do it. And you asked everyone, knowing that some will say yes, some will say no. Who cares who's next? And so tell me this, and then I'll let you finish taking us from like triple, you know, to presidential. But how did you not let the no's get to you? Because that's one thing I hear people say a lot, like, my best friend told me no, my mom told me no. Like, you know, so many times people, it's like the no's get them down. How did you not let no's get you down?
Okay, so again, I am super green. And when I was looking at people and I was going into, okay, so, you know, every single social media platform, whether it's YouTube, Pinterest, everything, Facebook, they're all smart and they're all coded. And if you search something on Google, it's attached to your Google profile, which is attached to your Facebook. Like, this has been around for a very long time. And so all of a sudden, YouTube was suggesting things for me. And YouTube started suggesting to me motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, E.T., like all these people, and Eric Worre and stuff like that. And then I found somewhere, Go for No. And I will tell you, when I first joined, the first 2 books that I read were Go Pro and The Slightest Edge. And then the next book was Go for No. And I'm really big on analogies, and I've always been big on analogies. Like, to this day, whenever I get in a situation, like if I was in a situation yesterday, I make an analogy to get myself through it. I've always been programmed like that. But the no's, something just clicked with me early before I ever read this book, that like no's didn't bother me, because when you decide on something, I'm telling you guys right now, decision options, there's a huge, like, they're so far from each other. When you make something an option, it's optional. When you decide on something, there's like this new power. There's like this crazy power in it. And I decided on this business. So when I got no's, I felt bad from the beginning. And I didn't even know where that was coming from. I feel like maybe that was my intuition. But after I read the book Go for a No, and I truly understood where that intuition was coming from, and I love the analogy that was put in that book, like, and this kind of like just validated everything. I feel like all the little things that we learn when we're younger, like, they are brought to light again when we're an adult. But like, just like in the Go for No book, like when we asked our parents for a piece of candy and they said no, did it bother us? No. we just asked again. Or we'd clean our room and then asked again. Or we did something to get our way. And I just feel like maybe the child came out of me when people said no to me. And I'm just like, okay, so how do I get a yes? Because my mom said no to me. I just try again.
I love that. So yeah, so you just realized I'm going to ask again, and just, you didn't let it. I love that. And then I like what you said, that you didn't, it wasn't like, you know, I might do that, you know, you weren't giving yourself a way out. It was like, it was decided. I love that.
And I would love to even say this to you guys. Like, I want you to know that if you are brand new or if you've been in for a while, and if anybody has said no to you, go back in your messages and write their name down, because I have a specific story that like changed my business. Because you might hear a lot of leaders talk about like someone's going to come into your business and change your entire business. So I joined on July 15th, 2015. And on July 18th of 2015, I messaged Latavia, and I sent this horrid message. I mean, this message is just horrific. Like, I would have not responded to me either. And I asked her to join my team, and she joined 13 months later, went diamond in 52 days, went double diamond in like 80 days, and was boxed for triple diamond in like by her 4-month mark. And she'll be going triple diamond probably this month or next month. And I asked her 3 days in, and she told me no. And it took a year and 1 month for her to join. And literally it was because it's like, go back to your nose and just change your mindset when they say no to you. Like, don't get so pissed or whatever else. Like, maybe every 6 months people's lives change. But like, that was like kind of like when she joined last year in October, I was like it was like mind blown. Like, that was one of the first people I asked, because the first thing I did was write down everybody that I've ever worked with, because I was a bartender and a waitress, and we got that like hustle mode or whatever. And she was like straight up like, no, LOL, like, good luck to you. And then she just like took off. So you just can't be like insecure about the no's, because that happened. And I'm telling you right now, at 13 months down the road, one of your no's could be your next rock star.
I love that. Okay, before we go on to the, like, is there anything you wish you would have known or anything like that? Tell me this. You've grown a really big social media following on Facebook, like your Instagram. Like, how did you do that? Because you said you didn't have a lot, you know. So, like, how did you do that? Because there's people that are on here and they're like, I don't even have an Instagram, or I have like 200 friends. How did you grow it to where you began signing people from it, you know, so you could have people liking your photos to message?
Okay, really quick, because I'm so structured.
No, yes.
Before you start talking about this, you wanted me to talk about from like how I built to like diamond up. Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah. Finish that. I think
I got highlighters and stuff.
Okay,
so
you do it. No.
I will tell you guys something that I do want to include, and then I'll go into that question for sure. But there was a point. So I'm a very literal person, and when I saw, you know, you were definitely a leader from the day that you signed a distributor, 100%. But I feel like that leader is emphasized once you're a diamond. It's a diamond leader. Like, it's not a diamond paycheck, it's a diamond leader. And I will tell you all, serve to receive. And once I was a diamond and that leader was put after the diamond, I took it so seriously where like there was no way I was going to fail. And I will tell you right now that a big part of me going double and triple so fast, and I know I stayed at triple for a really long time, but I was serving for a very, very long time. And that's what got me so close to ambassador so quick after presidential. Like, after diamond, there was no such thing as not having a launch party. There were points where I was driving, I lived in Nevada, and I was driving to Arizona in one day to do a launch party and driving back. 8 hours driving just to do a launch party, driving to Utah, driving to California. Like, I was like going all over the place. And I wanted to make sure that I included this with the growth, because not many people ask me like how I grew so much, but I truly believe that like in this business, like, it's so much not about you. It's about other people. When you make other people's business a priority, they feel it. Like, when I drove 8 hours to go to Arizona to launch somebody, she's going to go diamond. Like, she saw the effort that I was putting in, and she's going to duplicate that effort. And I feel like after you go diamond, that leadership truly turns into like a duplication role where like people that want to be a diamond, they're going to duplicate you. And so from diamond on, it was truly, and I started asking people, I'm like, you know, how are you learning from me? because I needed to know. I needed to know how people are learning from me. And when you hit diamond, that's when all your other legs start shooting out. I was like, how are you guys learning from me? And they're like, by watching. And I said, well, then I need to put on a show. Like, I need to make sure that I am showing people exactly what I'm doing constantly, all the time, whether it's messages or going to rap parties or filling out my success and posting a picture on my team page, all those things. And when you come to a leadership role, it really, like, we are in a show business, but when it comes to building in this business, I truly believe that the show business part of it is really showing your team how you're building your business. But like, you are the person that they follow. And so I just wanted to say that really quick, because when you send me that question, it's so weird because I don't know, I guess people aren't interviewing me that often. But when I really thought about it, I was like, dude, like, I just decided, I'm like, I have to show these people what I'm doing. And so, like, that's like the big jump. That's why I went so fast. And I know people are going like triple diamond in like 3 minutes, but when I see 8 months, I thought that I was really proud of that. But it was really because I was going above and beyond. And then my downline was like, me too. And that's truly how I got to triple diamond so fast. What was the next question?
Okay. Well, I kind of skipped and added in that extra part just because it still blows my mind that you have like such a great social media presence.
Okay, yeah.
Telling your story about when you started, you only had, 200 Instagram friends or whatever. And so that's like super impressive to me that, like, how did you do that? Like, people would think you probably had this big social media presence coming in, but you didn't. Because I assumed you probably did. Like, Alyssa was a blogger and, whatever.
I did not have a Facebook 2 months prior to joining.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so listen to me. So like I said before, I'm very literal. I'm literal and realistic. When I observe things, I literally observe them like realistically. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, when I go to bloggers, and I follow bloggers on Instagram, and I follow like celebrities and a couple other whatever. I follow people that have a lot of followers. Well, they have a lot of followers. Why do they have a lot of followers? And I always make this example when I'm doing any new distributor trainings or anything like that. But like, I love Kylie Jenner, and I hate that I love Kylie Jenner because she's just like so basic. Like, there's nothing really, really super great about her. Like, even her lipstick is not that great. But here's the thing is that I just watch her because she wants to be watched. And so there was a point in my first year of this business where I heard Ronnie Brown actually say this, and it just kind of like hit my light bulb, where she said, I just woke up every day and told myself, people want to know what I'm doing. And she was like, and I didn't really, and probably nobody wanted to know what I was doing, but like, I just decided that everybody wanted to know what I was doing. And it just made sense to me because I'm like, why do I follow Kylie Jenner? Like, she's not even that interesting. Like, I don't even know what her personality is like. But, like, I follow her constantly and, like, look for her updates. Like, are you and Tyga still together? Like, what are you doing? Like, why do I do that? Why do I do that? And it's because she wants to be seen. And so I was able to build this social media presence because I might not be, like, great. Like, and I know that I know that I can be, like, funny and I say things, like, just hashtag no filter and stuff like that. But I just decided that people wanted to listen to me. And so many times, especially in this world in general, like, we can just put it into like real scenarios where like people are so silent. Like, when somebody is like, just like things, it's like, even like in a grocery store, somebody could like accidentally get hurt and like nobody moves. Well, it's like the one person that moves in your head, you're like moves to go help them. You're like, go her. Well, I finally just one day was like, you know what? I just want to be that person. Like, I just want to be the person that talks. Like, I just want to be the person that says something. I just want to be that person that is, like, listened to. Because, like, in a group of 100 people, there's 2% that are going to be listened to. And I didn't want to be that other 98%. I just decided one day, I'm like, you know what? I just want to be heard. And I just want to talk out loud. Like, I just want to be seen. Like, I'm not even, like, whatever, but down somewhere, somehow, I realized that, like, everybody needs somebody to follow. And since I've needed, I truly, like, I live by this now, and I've actually considered starting a vlog soon. It's actually, like, in racks, but, like, I want to be the woman that I needed when I was growing up. Yeah. I truly believe that everybody needs someone to look up to. And I just decided, like, a year ago that I was going to be that louder person. I was going to be louder. And I was so insecure when I joined, guys. I was 30 pounds heavier when I joined. There's before and afters on Facebook. Like, I was 159 pounds. I did not even get on the scale again until I knew I was losing weight, because if I saw 160, I was going to be like, no. And I was down, and I was insecure, and there's no confidence. And I needed a woman to come into my life and be like, you're beautiful. Like, do you, boo-boo. Like, lose the weight if you want to lose the weight. Like, things like that. And I just started to realize, like, I need to start acting like that woman that I need to hear. And in this business, like, yes, it works as our brand, but people have to buy into you to buy from you or to believe in you in general. And if you're not showing yourself, no one's going to listen to you. Like, if you go to buy a car and the car salesman has a mask on, you're not going to buy a car from him. Nothing against him. He probably has a great personality, but you can't see his face. He has a mask on. You just don't really trust him. Yeah. You have to put yourself out there in this business, and you have to be seen, because that's when people truly, like, listen to you and trust you and take you seriously. And so I just decided one day I was going to be seen. And I know it's scary, like, especially being, like, my first live is still on my Facebook, and I was holding my phone, and my hand was going like this, and the camera is literally shaking the entire time. But I just was like,
I don't believe it. No.
Oh, no, for real. You guys should have seen it. It's a joke. And I'm literally going like this. My face looks so good because it's blurry the entire time. Because it couldn't focus. And I was so scared, but self-development has been huge for me. I just had to decide, like, I'm going to be Oprah Winfrey. Like, I'm just going to be Oprah. Like, Oprah could just walk in front of a bunch of people and just talk. I'm like, I need to, like, be that person.
I love that. No, I mean, I think that's huge, and it really is true. Ronnie and I, we were actually talking about that not long ago, because she's so funny. A while ago, I was like, friend, come look at my Instagram and tell me, what to fix, and her first thing was, stop posting pictures without giving someone a way to contact you or your website. Like, why are you, I was like, oh, okay. But then that was one of the best tips she said is, she's like, I tell everyone, decide what you want to represent. It works, needs to be one of them, but you don't want everything to be that. Decide what are those 3 things you want to represent, and that's what you post. You want to be, a mom, someone that likes fashion, plus you're at work. Do you want to be, for me? So I came up like, okay, yeah, what are my 3-4 things? That's what I want to put, because people are saying yes to you before the business. I love that, Lachelle. Okay. So good. We don't have to go, over everything I sent you, but let's see. Of the questions we have, what's another one you want to answer? Because you had all the ones I sent you.
Okay, so aha moment. I feel like this is important because I was one of those people that had an unsupportive significant other, and he's like super alpha male, Leo, like he was born from like a trade, like his father is like in trade, and so when I joined this business, like, it was jokes on jokes on jokes. Like, what do you sell? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, haha, and I'm like, whatever. Like, I found women that make fucking crazy amounts of money a month, like, whatever, I'm gonna do it. And it was very, like, it was a huge challenge. And I'm telling you guys that's a struggle that I hear a lot of people deal with. And I want you guys as women, and I know if there's men on here too, but I just can relate because I'm a girl. I came up, like, there was a point where I actually almost quit because there was so much, like, questioning. He was challenging me so much that I was like gonna quit this business. Like, I was literally like, okay, just whatever, add it to my debt, like, whatever, like, cool, I'm just gonna write it off. But I turned it into, like, having to prove myself, and I know that you shouldn't have to do that, but, like, it was like the best thing that's ever happened, because I truly needed to prove myself to him. And then all of a sudden, guys, it's so true, when men in this business, when they aren't supporting you, work so hard to prove yourself. Because when I got that $10,000 check, he goes, he took French classes. All of a sudden it was we. And then he was like, can I get some shirts? I'm like, you want me to buy them for you? And then I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to pay for you to go to conference. And the biggest aha moment for me, because I truly believe I'm a huge E.T. and Tony Robbins follower, and everything needs balance. Your relationship needs balance. Your life needs balance. And I mean, I just got unbalanced recently with this whole situation, but you need to find that like balance in everything, because it truly does reflect in your business. And if you ever do have issues with a significant other, that should be your motivation, because my aha moment was truly realizing that when I need to prove something to someone, I will like show up, like I'll get it done. And when I was able to prove it to him, it was more, I was proving it to myself, but I was proving it to him. It is the most rewarding thing in the whole world, because now TJ works his own business. Like, he's enrolled more loyal customers than I have this month.
So that's
I'm not even kidding you. And if you are in a relationship with somebody and they don't support you, get them to an event, because like this is like a 6'4" man that like was not supportive at all for like literally 8 months.
Wow.
And I took him to conference, and at the end of conference one, our first conference one, he looked at me crying, and he has not stopped since then, like on his own. And that was my biggest aha moment just in general, because in the beginning of this business, I feel like a lot of us have suffered from that non-support, not even from our significant other, but from like people in general. Like my best friend, that's like not my maid of honor, but like the maitre d' of honor, still has me blocked 2 years later on all social media accounts. She's still my girl, but that support in the beginning, it hinders us from our success. And if you can kind of just ignore it and want to prove everybody wrong, all of a sudden, when you get successful, you're like brilliant. And I feel like that was my big aha moment, is knowing that you're always going to start out as a rookie. And when you decide that it's like, it doesn't matter and you're just going to prove everybody wrong, that like when you get to the moment where like everybody's supporting you that didn't, that was like my big aha moment. And I wish you also asked me this, like, what could I like, if somebody could tell me anything in the beginning, it would be me like realizing like, go from rookie to VIP and everything will change. Like, you can't care about people's opinion in the beginning, because like I thought I was losing a boyfriend, I thought I was losing a best friend, but like I just felt it. Like God was just telling me like, this is your thing, like you got this. And then like everything changed. And so like that's like the biggest thing that I've learned, honestly.
No, that's
and now I look at everything in life differently now. Like when people like are like, you're really gonna do that? I'm like, I can't even wait to prove you wrong. Like, watch this.
No, that's huge. I love that. Instead of letting it get you down, you let it fuel your fire. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's huge. Because it's true. Like, you're not going to please everyone, and you basically lived out. Someone's opinions aren't going to pay your bills. Like, what someone thinks, letting that keep you from what you could become, that's not hurting them, that's hurting yourself,
Yeah.
letting them stop you. So I love that. Okay, I do want to hear, what does like a typical day look like for you?
Okay, so I am so structured.
Okay.
And I want you guys to understand that, like, here's the thing that I love about this business. We're all different. Like, every single human in this whole world is different. I'm extremely structured. And then, Tiffany here is like my girl now. Like, didn't know she was my girl 2 years ago when I was listening on YouTube, but like, that's my girl. But she has no structure. Like, she's the most unorganized person, and she's an Ambassador Diamond and is top 25. Okay, well, I am extremely structured. So I usually plan my day the night before, and when I say I plan my day the night before, like every night I plan my day the next day. Like, it is kind of like feeding a child. Like, you have to feed a child, right? Because you have to like make sure that they live. Okay, well, I have to plan my day for tomorrow. And I look at my profile almost as if it's not me. And I like to be like, okay, what would I like to see? And I like to do balance. So when it comes to products, I like to look at the product BV sheet, and I just kind of go down and like, okay, what have I talked about and what have I not talked about? And I do work lists a lot, so it just kind of like renders. It's different every single day, because sometimes I post public and sometimes nobody sees it because it's on a list and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, what do I need to post out of my products? Because we have to remember that we have so many products that like we can't just post ThermoFit, Fat Fitters, Greens. Like, we have to do like other products, and maybe they're on lists or maybe they're on public. But I make sure to have like a broad range. Like, I even have like a 50 and over list on my Facebook friends where like I'm posting best for them. Like, okay, I'm just doing it because I know it's going to come here or there. I also make sure I have a 4 list. So I know that everybody has a 6 list, and I like 4. It's an even number, and it's always obtainable. Like, I'm going to post 4 times a day. I'm going to send 4 messages to PLCs. I'm going to send 4 follow-up messages. I'm going to send 4 new messages. And I like to do 4, like, follow-up with, like, current loyal customers. 4 is not too much to me because, you know, it's like 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Like, it's like, these are numbers that I can achieve. Like, I can't give myself, like, 100, because then I feel like I'm like, okay, you're setting yourself up for failure here. Like, what is a good number? And I feel like 4 is good. Like 4, 4, 4, 4. I can achieve 4 easily. So every single day I make sure to do some type of product post. And this is, and I want you guys to understand too, is that if you follow me, I am not a good representation of this the last couple months. You know, I understand life happens. I did not understand that until the situation happened. Like, when people would come at me with like, oh my God, this is happening in my life. I'm like, so now I get it. Now I completely understand, and I'm so glad. I'm honestly, it's like a blessing in disguise that like now I have this experience, because I understand now that I can like feel what people are going through when life happens. But structure has to happen for me. And like tomorrow, like right now I'm packing at my house. So tomorrow I started my list kind of. I really want to post about the exfoliating pill, and I need to follow my cleanse potentials. And I need to follow up with some of my potential distributors, because the $100 shopping spree has been extended for the rest of the month, or I mean, till December. And so that's why I'm on my list right now. But I just make sure that I make a list a night before, so that tomorrow I don't wake up and be like, what should I do?
Yeah.
Like, I need to wake up already knowing that Lachelle yesterday decided what Lachelle today was going to do.
No, I love that. And I love that those are income producing.
You're muted.
No, because it's like.
Or I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me or no? Can y'all hear me now?
Now I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what I clicked. I might have had myself muted. No, but I love that on that list you have those income producing things, and you're like, you're doing something, and life happens. Life might be crazy, but you're like, okay, I'm gonna do my 4, posting, show people my store's open, but I'm not just going to do that. I'm going to message my, people about being customers. I'm going to, follow up with people about the business. It's income producing things. And this business doesn't have to be worked morning to night, but I love, like we talk a lot about being intentional, giving it that intentional time. You can probably work your 4 list in an hour, I mean, it's like, just give I'm not saying you have to give this from morning to night, but if you could give it that 1 hour a day, of income producing things, it truly can be life changing.
And I will tell you guys right now too, when you turn something into a habit, I like to call it an addiction, honestly. When you turn something into a habit, I saw it the most through like my mom's journey, is that since I have been always such a habit of planning what I will do the night before, there was like I saw it be such a priority to me. We were in the hospital, and I was laying next to my mom in the hospital bed, like sleeping next to my mom every single night when she was like literally an inpatient, sitting there, couldn't go to sleep. And I'm like, why can't I go to sleep? And I'm like, why can't I go to sleep? And I realized it was such a habit and addiction to me to plan what the next day was going to be, that it was like keeping me from sleeping. And so I would make smaller lists for me. I'm like, okay, well, this is what I can accomplish tomorrow. Like, we're in the hospital or whatever. And I was still signing distributors while I was in the hospital, because I said, okay, instead of following up with 4 people, I was going to follow up with 2. But here's the thing. They signed, because I made it a habit. Still, through this entire thing, I was still signing customers. My mom, the day my mom had a heart attack, I still had a list, and I still signed a distributor, and I still signed a customer. It created it's an engraved habit now, that even when life happens, like, since I've created a habit and kind of like an addiction, that like the business can still go on no matter what's going on in my life.
I love that. And it's not really different. It's because you treat this like a job. If someone was at a normal job, you had your normal 9 to 5, you're a school teacher, you're a nurse, you're, working retail in the restaurant industry. I mean, something happens, like, you can't go take off a month. So with this, you actually can, like, you can, slow things down, work it when you can in those times, which is such a crazy blessing. That's not normal. It's not normal that someone can move, still have their paychecks. You probably had paychecks going up in the midst of this even, I mean.
Guys, oh my God. Residual income is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I got the biggest raise from the month the worst month of my entire life. Like life, not even this business, like my entire life. And I got the biggest raise I've ever got my entire life. That's residual income. It's crazy.
I love that. This has been so good, girl. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I feel like we've got tons of notes, and man, we'll have to have a part 2 sometime. I know that, you guys, I know the diamond, one of my diamond message groups is like blowing up. They're like, yes, please. Oh,
well, I don't have anything after this, so I don't know if there's questions or anything.
Does anybody have, okay, if anyone wants to put in the chat, and if anyone has to hop off, totally understand, but does anyone have any other questions or anything you can put in the chat?
Do you want me to talk about how I launched my new distributors?
Oh yeah, do that, because I was going to pull up my notes of what we have. Yeah.
Okay, super structured, guys. Okay. I got a chart for everything.
Okay. Let's hear it. If you want to hear
and I will send this to you if you guys want it. So I am so systematic, guys. I can't even tell you. It's like a problem, but it's not. It's like a good problem to have. So I have a checklist when it comes to enrolling distributors. And every single new distributor goes on a checklist monthly. So the date they enrolled, their name, their ID number, things I need to know, their cell phone number, their introduction post. I have an introduction post that I send every single new distributor, because when I was a new distributor, if you look at my introduction post, you'd be like, that grammar is horrible. What are you talking about? And so I make sure to send them a template of an introduction. I tell them to modify it. And I send them this within like the first hour of them joining. I have a 24-hour rule with sponsorship. So within 24 hours, I have to introduce them to their sponsor. This business has brought friendship to my life. Like, if I could tell you, like, when I first looked at Friendship, Fun, and Freedom, I was like, that's really cute. Like, F times 3, like, that's a really cute slogan. But it is, like, so much my life now that, like, I don't even know where I would be if I did not have this many people, like, if I didn't have, like, this crew. And so introducing them to their sponsor makes them feel like it's not just me. Like, you got your girls. Like, you have your people. Like, we got you. And so I introduced them to their sponsor within 24 hours. The next one is scripts. I have a very basic script for the majority of the products. You know, what is Ruby? How do we get paid? What is It Works Global? Like, what is Cleanse? What is, like, everything just, like, based. I'm like, listen, I'm going to send you a really long, it looks really long, okay? But you're only going to use a short part of it. So I want you to take it, and I want you to put in your notes, and I want you just to know, before you ever ask me a question, I want you to go to this. And this is, like, the basic questions, like, what is BB? What is GB? What is Cleanse? Like, what does all these things do? Like, so, like, it's kind of like their cheat sheet. And I literally mark this off as I go. I just go down the list of, like, and I'll send this to you, but, like, this is, like, my checkoff sheet. Chat. So I am huge on Diamond chats. I have, like 53 chats. Anybody that's boxed for Diamond gets a new chat. So there's only, like, it only goes to, like, the highest is, like, 40 people. But whenever somebody's boxed for Diamond, they get their own chat. So I make sure that I add that person to the chat where they're placed under. And that kind of connects them with their whole, like, Diamond leg. So there's that, like, sideline, upline, downline connection. And then 25 posts. So I give my distributors their first 25 posts. I actually have a page for it. So, like, I add them, like, okay, here's the 25 posts. These are these are, like, an option. Like, you take them, you make them your own. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. I give them leaders to follow. And then I have LC 1 through 4. And I like to do, like, I send a message to all my new distributors. Like, this is the message that you're going to send to 10 people. I'm like, well, usually I ask them, like, hey, do you have an hour? They're like, yeah. I'm like, perfect. Well, you're going to text to 10 people. And I'm like, this is what you're going to text them. And I make sure to do that. And so then I can mark off LC 1 through 4. I have their 30-day mark from their enrollment date. And then as soon as I ever enroll anybody, I turn on post notifications on. And then my last column is post notifications off, because on the 30-day mark is when I turn them off and I unfollow them, because you have a 30-day grace period with me, which is sounds bad, but it's not bad. Like, I give you everything you need in 30 days. So that's when I turn it off, but I just really like to make sure that I'm interacting with them in those first 30 days. But that's how I launch my distributors. Like, that's my system.
I love that. I love that. I know that you have it planned out. You have it written out. You check it off. Yeah, that is so good. Yeah, I'll have you send that to me.
Okay, I will send that to you afterwards, yeah.
Oh, yay. Well, I'm glad we got that in. Yay, that was awesome.
Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry, I'm 1 minute over.
No, you're good. Esty said, "Can you write this down, Lachelle?" Oh, send it to us. Can you tell us your intro post? Someone is asking.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, hold on. Okay. So it's official. I have two actually.
Yeah.
It just matters. So I feel like, I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Seven Love Languages. Or the Five Love Languages.
Oh yeah, Five Love Languages.
Sorry.
I'm like, I haven't read the 7. I've read 5.
5, sorry. So I would recommend reading that as a leader. I truly lead by the 5 love languages. And I have 2 different introductions based on if they're blue-green, if they're green-red, like however they are. Like I just kind of like get a feel for them, but you should know kind of a feel of your potential because you're kind of stalking their entire life. So if they're like a green, red, blue, I guess this one, because she's totally like blue and red. It's official. I'm now a Works distributor. I've gotten my hands on an incredible opportunity. I'm serious. This will be life-changing for my family. I'm so happy, confident, and eager to start this new journey. I know it's not only going to elevate my passion for health and wellness, but I can't wait to help others embrace their healthy way of living and also make them so happy. This company has significantly changed the health and nutrition game in such a positive, natural way. For that, I am fully committed and stand behind it 100%. I've been involved in health and fitness my whole life, and this is true too. Like I do sign like some like we have like a substantial amount of like personal trainers on our team and stuff like that. But I'm truly committed and stand behind it 100%. I have been involved in health and fitness my entire life, and I'm so proud to have finally found something that mirrors my outlook on it. Here's to a new chapter and a whole new world of possibilities with such an amazing company and in such a supportive, passionate, helpful, motivating team. Like it's like these are like, but like each introduction is like based off of color. I'm huge on the color. And so, and I'll modify it based on them. Like, even if they don't have a lot of friends, or if like, I feel like their network is so big that it needs to be like extremely like there needs to be like extreme curiosity to their post. Their introduction post is probably the first post that I like judge them. Like, it's like, I judge them so hard. And that introduction post needs to be like, I create it usually and then I tell them to modify it. But I spend time on that introduction post because they have no idea what they're getting into, and I had no freaking idea what I was getting into. That like that introduction post that I send them needs to be a reflection of them based on what I see, because people that are watching them are seeing them.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's really good. And so you send that to them. I love that you're just giving them those tools to start out, you know, and so I think that is so great.
And nobody taught me that. I literally learned that because, guys, I wish I had an upline. I wish somebody gave me these things. And the reason why I give so much is because I wish somebody was like, hey, here's some stuff for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, thanks. I appreciate it so much. But nobody was like, nothing. And so, like, I give these things because this is what I would want as
so good. I love
from
that.
a leader.
I love that.
I saw, what did I see here? I thought I saw a question. Maybe not.
Do you still I saw someone said, do you still message your likers, people that are liking your thing?
Every single one.
Every single one.
Every single one.
Someone likes, you message.
If you like a product post, you're telling me to message you. That's my mindset. You like a product post? Like, even my indirect product posts that do not have a picture of the product, like if it's just me and like, hey, fat fighters making me skinny, and you just thought my selfie was great, but then you did not read the caption, that is your fault.
Yeah, I love that. So you're reaching out. I love that. That's
yes.
Great. Oh, no, I think this is great. Well, I'm gonna click the end record. Thank you for doing this, girl.